started in Madison in 1988. And it kind of had launched these print editions throughout the years. And I remember when it came to Milwaukee in '94, I was only 14 in high school, and people were like, "Oh my God, what is this?" And so you slowly, got learned. You loved it. I mean, one of the first headlines I remember was "Secondhand smoke linked to secondhand coolness," and I was like, "It's a pretty good study." And so from there, you became a fan, and we went online in '96, and then really the last few years have just been huge with social media, and I think every business today has to become a technology company. Mm-hmm. I think that's true of every industry that you're in. I think everyone gets disrupted. In the end, you're always competing with Google or Amazon, which sounds crazy, but you somehow are. Yeah. And so I feel like to run an organization, you have to have a great group of engineers. You have to have a technologist who's really important, and you got to think that way. And so for The Onion, we were lucky. We were the first humor publication that went online in '96, and kind of got a head start on everybody else. Mm-hmm. But along the way, we've had to invest a ton of resources into developing, our own content management system, which is a fancy way of saying how you put the content online. And then we've been at the forefront of social media, partly because The Onion is the perfect. It's a perfect content for Twitter. Mm-hmm. Every headline fits in Twitter, and it's the easiest way to activate an audience.
Can you give us your take on a story such as the government shutdown? What would The Onion do with something like that?
So I think what we do is we always try to exploit the view that everyone's thinking but no one's saying, and so the government shutdown, which now happens as like an annual event, which is kind of crazy. But we try to think of a way to make that point that this is ridiculous, that we can't work out a compromise in some way, shape, or form in a way that actually resonates with the audience, And so some of the content we create is a little edgy, and so an article we wrote that was pretty funny and got a lot of traffic was congressional aides to withhold sex until government shutdown is resolved. And if you want to try to appeal to congressmen, sadly that's the only way to
get their full attention.
Yeah, you can't say, "Hey, this is ridiculous. You're hurting the nation." So we always try to find a very humorous way to make a pretty big point.